All right. Good evening, everyone. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in. This is Christina with Suppressed Wounds. When suppressed wounds begin to heal, redemption and recovery. And we have a very, very special guest. I be chopping your name up. I be saying Chatrivia, Chatrivia Kennedy with Unique Presents. Welcome to the show, Miss Lady. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Even though I said your name and I chopped it up a little bit, go ahead and introduce yourself.
It's okay. I'm used to it. They've been chopping and screwing my name since I was in third grade. So I'm used to it. Hey, everybody. I usually say, hey, y'all. My thing, I say, hey, y'all. So, hey, y'all. My name is Chatrivia. I am so excited to be here. We're going to have some interesting conversations tonight, y'all. Hope y'all excited because I am.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself, like where you from, where you grew up at, and all that good stuff.
Uh, so I'm from Chicago, the west side of Chicago. I grew up in the projects actually. They call Abla homes, but they call it the village, They always had a little slang name they call it. So I grew up in a village on the west side of Chicago. I am the oldest child of three. My little brother, I think my brother is 6 years younger than me, and my sister is 3 years younger than me. I'm the oldest, unfortunately. On my mother's side, but on my father's side, I think I'm the next to the youngest. I think I have five siblings on my dad's side. My mother passed away, I think 13 years ago. That's pretty much it. I'm a CNA. I've been a CNA for 20 years. I've been HIV positive for 20 years. Um, I have four kids, one grandson, and I have a future husband. I also have a nonprofit called Unique Purpose Inc. Steered towards HIV awareness. I have a publishing company, Unique Purpose LLC, and I have a bunch of other little stuff I do too. Other little stuff I do too. But that's pretty much who I am and a little bit of what I do.
Okay, okay. So it's Unique Purpose. I said Unique Presents. I don't know where I
Well,
get.
it's both. It's
Okay,
both. Presents Presents is the publishing company and Purpose is the nonprofit. So you got it
okay.
right.
Okay, cool, cool. And then some people I hear them say here, they say the west side is the best side. Is that true?
Well, because I'm from South now,
Okay.
and I had time to compare. Before I moved South, I always felt like the West Side was the best side. 'Cause that's where I lived. At, of course, I'm with my side, right? But
Right.
now that I had experience from both, West Side is best. Is definitely the best side. There's so many abandoned buildings out south. It don't make no sense. It's just confused. Like
I
why?
know.
Like
I
why?
know. I know. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, just driving by and seeing all these buildings. And it's like there's so many homeless people. There's so many things that people can do with these buildings and all that good stuff. So you mentioned that you're the oldest. I'm the oldest too, like on my mom's side. Well, both sides actually. What was your childhood like, if you don't mind explaining or expounding on that?
Um, my childhood was interesting. I would say. The reason why I say it was interesting because my dad died when I was three. I actually remember seeing him. I remember going to the casket, but I don't remember seeing his body or nothing. But I remember being taken to the casket to see him. My mother had a boyfriend right after my dad died, and he actually is my sister and my brother's father. So I always felt like I was the black sheep, but I really wasn't. But I felt like that was their little family. My mama, her boyfriend, and they two kids. Like I was the outsider. But my mother had me at 15. So my grandmother always had me. So I was a grandmother's baby. So I always was with my grandmother growing up. And my grandmother died. But my grandmother was killed by my cousin. My cousin killed my grandmother when I was 12. So when that happened, I didn't want to remember her because of the pain that came with it. So I literally blocked my childhood out. It's so much stuff I can't remember from my childhood, and I'm now that I'm healing and I'm okay with it now. Like my grandmother actually was a real person, you know. So I'm going back started to try to remember things now, but I cannot remember a lot about my childhood because I blocked a lot of it out. But I know I had a good childhood. My mother, she worked, she took care of us. She went through a little abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. But for the most part, she took really good care of us. She did the best that she could do with us. So I don't think nothing. I cannot say nothing bad that happened when I was a child. I guess I chose to do things that I did after my grandmother died. I started hanging out and just wilding out. How teenagers get. I didn't want to listen no more, running away, doing all type of crazy stuff.
Now, can you thank you for explaining that and expounding on it. Like I told you the other day, like I text you, I say you're like a beautiful onion.
Oh my God! When you said that, I was like a beautiful onion. It's crazy. It's crazy that you said that way because people always want to know about HIV. Like, why? That's just a part of who I am. I'm so much more than HIV. I just wind up having sex without a condom and catching it. But there was so many other things going on in my life
Yeah.
too. People never ask. They never ask about my childhood. They never ask what else happened to in my life.
Right, right, yeah. But I said without the smell. It's the beautiful onion without the smell.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Wow, but that's crazy to hear that you say your cousin ended up killing your grandmother, and then you talk about how a lot of your childhood things, like you don't remember a lot of things. And
I don't
sometimes,
remember cartoons. My son
wow,
was asking me about some cartoon. I do not remember. I don't remember cartoons. I don't remember sitting at the dinner table having dinner. I don't remember a lot until like when the kids start talking and other people start talking, bits and pieces come. But one thing I learned over the years is that when something is so painful for you, you will hide from it. And I have been hiding from so many different things that the more and more I heal from HIV, I'm able to see all of these other things that I've been hiding way before HIV even came about.
wow. That's true. That's true. And that's definitely a trauma response because things that happen like you say it's like so tragic or so horrible and then it's like some parts of our mind is just it blocks it out. But then one of the things that I try to teach others is as I'm learning as well is like when those triggers do come because it might be a smell or something like that or it might be a sound and then it may take you back to that moment and be like I forgot about that. So like have you ever experienced things like that where it was because you said sometimes some things may come up like you may remember some things but like have you ever experienced a traumatic experience where there was a trauma and then you were able to remember something that happened as a child? No.
No,
Okay.
all the things that we're talking about right now is like this is like real timing. Like since speaking at your event, and maybe like weeks before into now, these things are new for me right now. Going back into my childhood and things that happened to me. So I don't remember nothing right now, but listen, when something come up, you on speed down. You on speed down so we can talk about it. But I haven't experienced that yet. Not from my childhood, but I have experienced it from I think last week, I think a few days ago, I was telling Curtis, I want the book that I'm writing, I was writing, and as I was writing, I remembered something that I didn't remember before about um when I was diagnosed with HIV and I walked in the room. I don't remember the midwife introducing me to everybody that was in the room. All I remember was us all going in the room and her talking to me. But everybody else, she never told me their name. I don't remember. And I was telling Curtis, I'm like, she had to tell me everybody who was in the room because it's illegal. She has to tell me who in the room. She about to tell my boy business. But I blocked it all out. I can't remember. All I remember is me and her. But I know everybody was in the room. I don't remember having a conversation to say, oh, this is this person, this is that person, this is that person. I don't remember it. I had to block it out.
Whew. I would say like our mind is very powerful,
Yes.
very powerful. It can either protect us and sometimes it can harm us. But wow, that that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, I'm gonna let you kind of direct us as to where you want to go, with what it is that you want to share or disclose, or however the Holy Spirit is leading you to share at this moment, and then I'll feed off of what it is that you are sharing.
Interesting. That's different. You good at this.
Thank you, thank you. I'm learning, girl. I'm learning.
You good at this. Like I was saying at first, people never really ask you about your life before. It was a life before HIV. People know me from being the girl that's HIV positive, but so many different things happened to me before HIV. I need to write a book about that. Life before HIV. So many other things that happened. But what I would like to talk about is the healing process, of going through all of these different things that I've experienced. I'm gonna share something with you, and we could just go from there. Um, right now, I'm in school for my GED, and I'm having a hard time. I was sick for a few days, and then she boom bust out with a test. I'm like, hold on, I've been sick a few days. What is you talking about? But this is a big fear for me, a fear of failing. And then at the beginning of the year, I was in therapy, and the therapist helped me realize where this fear came from, and where this idea that I'm dumb and I'm stupid came from. And it came from third grade, when my friend was reading, and as she was reading slow, so everybody started laughing at her. So when it was my turn to read, I was afraid they was gonna laugh at me, so I started stuttering too, and they all talked about me. So that them talking about me here, you stupid, you can't read, you can't this. I went through third grade doing the same thing, stuttering and not pronunciating the words right. And I lived that my entire life. Nobody never even knew that I still felt dumb and stupid thinking about when the kids in third grade talked about me. So I covered it up. In seventh grade, I learned I knew how to fight. So I'm like, hold on, I know how to fight. After my first fight, I'm like, wait a minute. If they talk about me, I'm gonna beat them up, you know. So I went through life. If somebody made me feel some type of way, I'm gonna beat you up. I never knew why I was a fighter. I just thought that growing up in the projects, or growing up the way we did, you had to just fight if somebody bothered you, but nobody messed with me. They really, if I actually think about all the fights I had, they actually did nothing to hurt me. They actually said something, and I beat them up for talking. That's just so crazy. That's horrible. But I'm saying that to say, the child in third grade, she's still she's the child in third grade. I'm still her. And I'm finally stepping out now, trying to face this fear of getting my high school diploma, getting my GED. But I have to heal from the things that happened to me in the third grade. Not only in the third grade, because this we talking third grade, but the things I shared at your event. This third grade, then all of those things start happening. You see what I'm saying? So I would like to talk about healing. How do we heal from things that we had from, that's hurting us, that we cannot feel because we are hiding from the pain, so we don't have to feel it. So for me, the way I have started my healing process with going back, because once again, we done with HIV, right? I think I beat that thing every day that I wake up. When I put my feet on the floor, sick and all, I'm like, okay, HIV, you're done. You're done. I got you out the way. So now these other things that I have to deal with, because these things, the more and more I heal from these things, it helps me become a better mother. Now I don't have an attitude all the time. I'm not angry all the time. I didn't cuss everybody out. I ain't got to smack them. I don't have to. I'm learning how to be a woman. What they say, I'm in my soft girl era. I'm in my
Yeah.
soft girl era. I'm learning how to be submissive. I'm learning how to listen. I'm learning all these things because I'm dealing. That onion is being peeled. So now I'm able to look at. Oh, this is why I'm so angry. I fear this. Oh, this is why I'm this way, because I'm sad because I don't have an education. Oh, this is why I feel this way, because I don't trust that I'm going to get the job done. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going back to all of these things so that I can learn how to address these emotions that I feel. That's what's helping me heal right now. There ain't no more. Forget the like I got affirmations up. Of course, I got my affirmations up. I put those up a few days ago. I am smart. I am a college student. I will complete this process. All those, but these are new affirmations. We constantly go through affirmations, but every few months, if you really deep into that, these affirmations will be gone in a few months. I will have a new batch because we forever healing. And when you heal, you have to change the way your process of healing. I'm talking too much now. That's enough.
No, 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 no. You're sharing. You're sharing what we need to hear. And I just thought about another title for you, Healing from What I'm Hiding From. You know, that's good. That's good. Because I think that it's easy to put on a mask. It's easy to just like say, oh, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm gonna just keep putting this under the rug or scooting this under the rug, and I'm not gonna deal with that. But eventually you're gonna come face to face with something that you're gonna have to deal with. So while you're in you say your soft girl era, what would you say to that third grade girl who, started stuttering, was insecure about the reading and all this stuff, and then just started fighting? What would you say to her today?
Girl, keep reading, stuttering and all. Keep reading because you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the answers right when you're done. You're gonna get it right. Like last night, I took a test last night, and I'm just like, what is this word? Saint? This is weird. Same thing, third grade. I get this word like I do not know what this word is. Here I go. I'm gonna replace it with a word I think it is, and I still got the answer right. Boom. That's what I would tell her. That's what I would tell the girl in third grade. Continue reading. The more and more you read, the better you'll get at it. And not only that, circle that word that you don't know, and then look it up and let that be your word for the day. That's what I would tell that third. I just tell myself that today.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I have something, and I feel like I can share this with you, and we'll laugh about it. But when you mentioned that at the event on Saturday, and I thought you said that you couldn't read, and in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, but she got 36 books. But she's doing a great job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was thinking, like, I don't even know what made me think about that, but I'm like, no, you struggle with that at a point, but there's still things you can still read. Like, you're an author. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what I was
Text me. Like,
what I was saying was back is another fear thing, right? We have to we are being programmed all the time, right? You could be programmed with positivity or you could be programmed with negativity, right? So I was trying to share that he was programming me. I told him about this story that I shared about the third grade and how I felt about it. And he was like, you dumb, you stupid, you can't read, you can't this, you can't that. So now if somebody's telling you this and you already feel it anyway, every time it's time for you to read something in front of them, you're gonna stutter because they already implanted this in you. And plus, they implanted new thoughts in you. And now those thoughts are growing. And over the years, now you think you can't read. So one day, then you sit back and you look. I actually have 46 books too. I had counted yesterday. You look back and like, how I can't read and I have 46 books. Not only that, how I can't read. And at one point, I was reading one book a month. So sometimes you have, it's not sometimes, you have to deprogram yourself. It's not that I cannot read. Some words I just don't know. I'm sure it's you put five people in the room, they're gonna say it's some words they don't know, right? So this is it's normal not to know some words. But when you have somebody putting more and more negativity in you, you will believe what they're saying. So I had to deprogram myself from that and look at all these things I'm doing. Oh, it's impossible, you know?
absolutely, absolutely. Because I'm like, whoa, and I laughed about it because I'm like, this girl can't read. But
Right.
but just, I just thought that was funny though. But what kind of encouragement can you give? Because now there are adults, there are older children who really are struggling with reading as well. Um, may have difficulty with comprehension and all that stuff. But what encouragement would you have for those individuals who are like, I really want to get, I really want to go back to school and get my GED, but I'm struggling with this. What kind of encouragement can you give them so that they, just feel empowered, or that they can begin to release that shame? Because we just like I shared Saturday, we're all going through something. Either we're all going through something, we went through something, we're about to go through something.
Period.
So go ahead, ma'am.
I think the first thing I would suggest, but I'm gonna first, I always, every time I tell somebody something, I always use myself, because I feel like if I ain't experienced it already, I should be telling you about it, or somebody I know have not experienced it. But the first thing will be to believe in yourself. Huh? Oh, first thing, I was like, huh? The first thing I would suggest is to believe in yourself wherever you at, like wherever you at, because we all are in different stages of our life. We all are. And then I would definitely tell them that just because you did not get your high school diploma, or you did not get your degree, or you did not get whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, that don't mean that you cannot get it, right? Everybody learns different. Everybody. Like I don't believe that no is I don't believe that people are incapable of learning. I don't believe that. I just believe that we all learn different. So that's the reason why, okay, we have second grade teachers, third grade teachers. Those are different levels. So they all teach something different. They all specialize in something else. So some people, they are visual learners. Some people, they got the hearing. It's different. I would suggest just learn your method of learning first. And then I'll say the same thing like I just said. Like when you read something or you don't understand something, listen, I went to YouTube University. I have 2 degrees in YouTube University, two, and it was free. This is what I did. I'm so serious. When I wanted to learn how to publish a book, I went to YouTube University and I said, "How do you publish a book?" And it gave me the rundown. And while they was talking, I was writing. Did I spell everything right? No, I didn't. But I knew what I was talking about, right? I wrote it down. Everything I wanted to know about publishing a book, I studied it on YouTube University. Whatever it is that you want to learn how to do, you can find it on YouTube University. It is just that simple. The same way I told my son this the other day. I'm gonna tell you the secret to getting smart. So I told him, I'm gonna tell you the secret to getting smart. He like, it's a secret? I'm like, yeah, it's a secret to getting smart. I'm gonna tell you what it is. I said, all you gotta do is learn. He said, what? I said, all you gotta do is go to school, read it, study it, and learn it. That is all. I said, you know how people sound so intelligent when you hear them speaking? That's because they done read a whole bunch of books and they very knowledgeable on a subject that they really like, or maybe all the subjects. That's the secret. All you gotta do is learn. If you want to get smart, you learn. How do you do that? Whatever it is you want to learn, you just invest all your time in it. So for me right now, I want to learn that GED. So that's what I am investing a lot of my time in right now. So whatever it is you want to do, if you don't have a GED, you need to invest all your time in it. If you want to go back to school to be to do hair, you specialize in doing hair. YouTube University.
Thank you for sharing those tips, especially about YouTube University. YouTube University really is a real thing. I learned that from, I think it was Charleston White, and he
Mm-hmm.
was talking about some way that you can somehow, with the algorithm and the views and stuff like that, you actually type in YouTube University and you'll learn how to use YouTube. It's something like that.
Oh
But
wow!
but yeah, learn something new every day.
Yes.
We learn a lot of different things on social media. So please, guys, if you are thinking about, I think this is the time for me to go back and finish my schooling, my training, whatever it is, do it. And find you a program. You can go on Google and type GED programs if you need to do that. Are there any recommendations you have as far as, you know, people finding information here in Chicago or Indiana or anything like that?
No, actually, I don't right now,
Okay.
but y'all could just basically, if y'all want to find something out in the future, y'all can contact me because this is my new thing right now. This is my new thing right now. So when I get more information about the things I'm doing and other programs, I will be sharing them. I'm real big on that. When I learn something, everybody gonna know. Everybody gonna know. This is something new. This whole area right here is like new for me. Like I'm usually doing the book stuff, the publishing, the mentoring, the coaching. I'm always into something else for someone else. And that's cool, you know. But I'm actually doing something for me right now that's going to benefit me now, and I'm going to help everybody else later.
Yes. And I believe too that that's where our blessings come from. You know, just helping people and we coming together, getting our resources together. And I think with everything that's been going on, because I got family, a lot of family down in Florida. Um, and then there's a lot of natural disasters all over, not just what happened in Florida and the Carolinas and Texas or Louisiana, but like where people have lost so much. And I think that we're getting to a place where it's like, okay, we're going to have to like really depend on each other, become more interdependent on each other and spread our resources around because life is real. Life is real. Pain is real. Struggle is real for a lot of people. And I be watching what is it, Walking Dead, and I mean, of course they be going all that crazy
Girl, that's
talking.
my favorite, girl. Don't get me going, baby. We'll have a whole show. We can make up our own talk show about that, girl. I love The Walking Dead.
Yes, I used to be scared of it, but I look at it and I'm taking mental notes because I'm like, that could possibly happen where we lose everything. The gas machines are down. All these things can happen where we're going to learn how to barter from each other. You're going to have to learn how
Mm-hmm.
to make you some fire.
Yes.
So I be thinking, but I just, I don't want them things to bite me though. I don't want to get bit. But I just pulled up a couple little things up here, and I thank you for telling people they can also reach out to you. But here in Chicago, there's a program called No Adults Left Behind High School. So you have that. You have Potter. Let me see here. You have Illinois GED. What is it? Let me go down. GED, the testing service. So GED.com. And then you can actually find what state, and then they'll be able to give you some resources as well. But yeah, don't let those insecurities hold you back because there's something that we all may not be as secure in.
Period.
So thank you for sharing that, my dear. Now let's kind of travel a little bit. I know, you went through the things like how did you, because your mom with a lot of things that you didn't remember from your childhood, like do you remember like some things like basic things as far as like your rearing is concerned, like cooking and doing that, or was that something that you learned or you had to adapt to doing when you became a mother or an adult?
Um, Actually, I didn't have to do it until my mother passed away because my mother did everything. Even when I became an adult, she still cooked. She still cooked for us and everything. So I actually remember my mother cooking there. My mother spoiled us right, so we didn't have to do all that type of stuff. We used to sit down and watch TV. I do remember that much. My mother always cooked, cleaned, all that. We didn't have to do any of those type of things. But I do remember her cooking, so I knew how to cook. I just didn't have to.
Okay. And then were you also a young mom yourself? Did you say your mom
Yes,
was
I had my
15?
son at 17. Had my son at 17. And I think I actually tried to go back to school too. When I was pregnant with him, I had went to it was a pregnant school. What was the name of that school? I forgot. I know it was all pregnant women at the school. I went for maybe 2 months. But that didn't work out. It didn't work out at all. Um, I think my my mother had me at 15 and my daddy was 21, right? I had my son at 17 and his daddy was 21. But I had already known him when I was 16. So kind of was like the same pattern, right? Yeah, so I had my son very early. I would say that's very early for me.
It is. Now, have you, I'm going to actually do some more encouragement to like those teen moms. They may feel like, what else can I do now? My mom, she actually had me when she was 17. She got pregnant, I believe, with me when she was 16. My dad was 15. So they were babies having babies. What kind of advice would you have for those who are like, again, just feeling like, okay, I didn't have this baby. What can I do now? Because you're living in the future of that 17-year-old girl, and there's so many things that you're doing right now. And I think it's just amazing.
um, I wish I would have stayed in school. That's what I wish because I had a support system. My mother would have had watched my baby. I don't know what was wrong with me. His family, they would have watched the baby. His family's cousins and aunties, somebody would have watched the baby. So I had a huge support system. It's just that that fear still was on me at 17. I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to fail. I don't want to feel dumb. So right now I would encourage her to stay in school by any means necessary. Stay in school because it's going to be hard to provide for a child without an education, and you don't want to struggle. It's already one thing to have a baby, and sometimes not know what to do with the baby. I think even if you're an adult and you have a new baby, sometimes you don't know what to do. So just imagine a young girl having a baby and not knowing what to do. That's already a challenge, and then not being able to provide. That's a whole nother dynamic. And for me, the times when I can't provide for my kids, that's the lowest that I have been in my life mentally. So I know for a teenager that would be really bad. So I would say stay in school by any means necessary. Try to get all the resources that you can to stay in school. Because staying in school and getting an education is what's going to help you provide for that kid. One thing I know is that when I had my son, when I did not cry giving birth, I cried when I saw his eyes. And the reason why I cried was because I knew that I was responsible for that kid. I was responsible for him. And knowing that you are responsible for another human being, it's life changing. But it wasn't life changing enough for me to go to school and get an education. I didn't know how important getting an education was. Um, I didn't know how important it was, and I didn't know that it was going to be a challenge for me to provide over the years. I did not know that. So if I knew what I know right now, I would have tried my best to get an education so that I can provide, not only provide, give them a better life, which I feel like I did a good job with my son, but I still would have been able to give him a better life earlier on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like I think your son is grown now, right?
Yeah, he's 25. Well, he'll be 26 next week.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got a
Wow.
grown one. Hopefully you get to meet him at the event.
Yes. Yes. The event. So you want to talk about the event? I think that's in December, right?
Yeah, my little baby. That's my baby.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So 5 years ago, I went public on World AIDS Day with my HIV status. Um, I think over the years even before I had went public, I already was doing stuff in secret. A lot of people that knew me knew that I was HIV positive and that I always helped people and stuff like that. But God was tugging on me to do something totally different. It's a difference. It's a different when you're doing something in private and when God say, now it's time for you to move on up now. You don't want to do that. Like, you want me to what? you know. So I had talked to a few people and got everybody not everybody's approval, but I knew that my life was about to change. And I wanted my kids, I wanted to know how they felt about me about to go public because I knew God told me that what my pain was not for nothing, that I was gonna change lives around the world. So when God to tell you something like that, you know it's something special. It's not nothing small. So I didn't want my kids to be I don't want my kids to feel some type of way, or I don't want them to feel like, oh no, I don't want nobody to know you're HIV positive. I don't want them to feel ashamed. But they always for it, they was game. So I did all of that, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And when I did it, it was a sense of relief. Leading up to it, it was like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure you probably experienced it. I don't know if everybody else experienced it, but when God is telling you to do something and you do not do it, when you finally get the strength to do it, it's like a relief. It's like a relief
Yeah.
comes on you. Like
Yeah.
it's amazing. I felt like my life had just began that day because I felt free. I felt free to live the way God wanted me to live. I felt like this is my purpose. This is why I exist. This is why I am on earth. God allowed, and I know it sounds crazy to some people, right? God allowed me to get HIV so I can become who I am today. Like we it took us what 45 minutes to even talk about HIV. So many other different things, I could talk about. But that was the day that my life changed forever. So every year I try to well, I ain't trying no more. I'm having an event every year to the casket close, period. Let's get that straight. I'm having an
Right.
event for
Right.
real AIDS Day every year. This year will be my fourth year doing it. Every year I try to highlight um something that I feel is important. Um this year I'm highlighting love. And this is I've never anybody know me talking. I never talked about love and HIV together. Never. I always talked about the mental side to it, disclosing HIV behavior, sleep with other men, and da 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 da. Never talked about love because once again, fear again. He'll use that word. That's the word of the day. Fear. Living past your fears is what we're gonna talk about, right? I feared that nobody would love me, right? And I found love. Well, love found me. I guess we found each other. I guess God pushed us into each other. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. So for me, in the last 5 years and being openly positive, I've talked to so many people, and the number one reason why people don't disclose is because they feel that people is not going to love them and accept them. So I feel like I have to highlight this. I have to highlight that it's a possibility. It's a chance that you can find love. You can find somebody that, or they can find you, and they still will love you past your diagnosis. So this year we're highlighting um 0 different couples. So Curtis is the keynote speaker, and I have another couple that's coming. One is positive and one is not. They're going to be speaking. I have somebody speaking on love. I'm looking for somebody to speak on prep right now. I have no idea what I'm going to talk about because I felt like I didn't want to be the keynote speaker this time, because it's not about me, right? It's my event, but I felt like it would be better for Curtis to be the keynote speaker. That felt better for me. So I won't have to do too much. I don't have to do too much, but I'm still gonna speak though. But this is my baby, right? So I'm trying. I don't know. Every year I go through the same things. If somebody gonna come and I go to messaging everybody, talking to everybody, it's just like so important to me that people get educated about HIV, especially in our community. All our communities is our community, but in my community where I grew up at, everybody slept with everybody. It's just what it was. Nobody was faithful. A lot of people was married. A lot of people had relationships. There's so many different things. So I just think it's important for more people to get educated. And I feel like having these events will highlight the importance of it. So that's what I'm gonna do to the cast close.
Absolutely. That purpose, man. That and like you said, it's like this burden it lifts off of you. You feel you have more peace, more clarity. Like you look good. Like you look like your face. It's like this aura, something about you where you look free, you know.
Yes.
And I pulled this up on the screen. I couldn't find the I probably should have asked you before, but will this be the book that you're gonna have at the event? Do you see it on the
Yes,
screen? Okay.
yes, that's the book. Actually, we're gonna have a book signing as well because we did do a book signing. That's the
Okay.
book that we released this book for our 1 year, our first year anniversary. We wanted to highlight our relationship because a lot of people say unhealthy people shouldn't get together. So a lot of we talked a lot about different giving different tips on how to create a healthy relationship, check-ins. I think we quarterly check-ins is what Curtis called it. Quarterly check-ins, and just we express how we feel about one another, and we actually both pray in the book, and we have Bible study in the back of it too. So we're gonna have a book signing as well. We're gonna be signing books too. It's gonna
Yes.
be actually really good. I think this is really gonna be nice. I'm so excited about it. I've stayed up all night thinking about this event and other stuff. Like it's just crazy. I'm so this it's just my baby. I can't explain it. Sometimes my words don't come out right when I get so excited. But this is really important to me. It's probably one of them. It's just as important as them little kids of mine.
Yes. Yes. So this is going to be
Seven.
December 7th. Now, how can people, like, if they wanted to try to come, how can they get tickets or register? Or
Go to you on Facebook right now.
I am.
Go to events and pull up. I think I invited you to it. I wish I can get on my.
You did.
It should be in the events, and you could pull it up through the events.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna pull it up. Do you want to talk a little bit about your love story, how y'all met, or anything like that? I know. I think your boo. He watching. I think I see on here.
I can. It's no biggie.
Okay.
um, so I've been knew Curtis. I've been knew him probably. Let me see. I think I've been public 5 years, so maybe like 6 years. Maybe about 6 or 7 years. I already knew Curtis. Actually knew his wife. Me and her were friends. She passed away. It's almost going to be about 3 years. She passed away. Me and Curtis, we became accountability partners when she passed away. Um, just helping each other with life stuff. Because I knew a lot of his life stuff, and he knew a lot of my life stuff, right? So we both do a lot about the things that each other wanted to accomplish in life. So we started like that, just being accountability partners, help each other. And along the way, like it started feeling weird sometimes. Yeah, that's it. It started feeling weird sometimes. Like I started feeling like I liked him, and he started kind of feeling like he liked me, and it was a weird feeling in the beginning. But after praying and talking to God about it, it made sense, right? Um, it did make sense to a lot of people, but it made sense to us, right? So it's just one of the things like when God is saying this is right, right? God is saying this is what I have for you. This is what I want for your life. And one thing I have to highlight is that a person that you choose to share your life with, they have to be good for your life, right? Not just your life, your purpose, why you breathe, why you exist. It's just not about posting pictures on Facebook and about just going out and having a nice time. It's about purpose. It's about assignment. And when God really told me that's what it was about, this man can help you with your purpose. Not only he can help you with your purpose, you have to help him with what I have for him. That's when I was sold when God said I supposed to be helping him with his purpose. His second, I always say, this your second half of your life. I'm gonna be a part of that. I'm gonna help you do what God has for you to do. So it's been some challenges, but I truly believe that God is turning things around. And it's actually we're helping each other heal. How about that? We're helping one another heal. So it's one of the it's another one of my little babies. I got a lot of babies. That's another one of my little babies. My relationship is my baby. I've never been in a healthy relationship. Never. So to create a healthy relationship with someone that loves God is one of my highlights to our relationship is being able to pray together, being able to talk to God together, being able to say, "Could you pray for me? Can you pray for me?" Or we doing Bible study today, or us having Bible study with my kids, stuff, just different stuff like that. Those are the highlights of my life that I have with him.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And that's important. That's important. I be seeing a lot of the things where the girls be saying, oh, what is it? On the table and he need to do this and do that. But to be in a relationship where you're flourishing, where you're growing, and you feel heard, you feel, you're being filled up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not where it's like it's draining. Of course, no relationship is perfect, but you have two imperfect people who come together who desire to be perfected. And the beautiful thing about it is you both are loving God. One of my pastors, Pastor Payne, he would often say, in a marriage, you're fighting for the bottom. You're fighting for the bottom, and you keep fighting for the bottom, you know? And when you do that, like you become stronger. You become stronger, and you came out of a not so great relationship, and his wife, she transitioned, transitioned to heaven. Like we
Yes,
gotta be careful with all these, different communities. Like, oh, she
yes,
transitioned. Like, what she transitioned to?
right.
But 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 no, it's beautiful, and I love what you're doing. Let me say this because something came to my mind about resources for girls, pregnant girls, and teens, but not just teens, but adults. There's also the you have the Healthy Start program, Healthy Start, Healthy Families. Go to your local health department and see what resources that you girls can get. We have the local pregnancy centers where they can give you things for your baby give you for free. I used to work for a Healthy Start program, and we gave a lot of referrals to the women to get their dental and all that stuff taken care of. If they struggle with drugs, we make sure we gave them resources for that. So I just wanted to throw that nugget out there. Look up the there. We're in 2024. It's about to be 2025. There's so many resources out here. It's too many. It's too many free things,
Yeah.
to not get the help you need. But to go back to this, the fourth annual HIV awareness event and book signing. There's an early bird special, $20 until December 1st, 25 after. You all are going to be signing your book. But the book is currently available, correct?
Yes, on Amazon.
Okay. So they just go on to Amazon, type in, was it Unpredictable Love?
Unpredictable love. Yep.
Yes. And you'll see a beautiful couple on there. Is there any other nuggets that you believe God is having you to share with the audience, with the people?
I don't even got nothing else to say. I, I usually always got something to say. I really actually don't. Every time me and Curtis be on, he be like, "You got something to say?" I'm like, but and then I get to go. No, I actually
No.
don't. I really okay. I do got something to say.
Okay. No, you good,
I
you
think we
good.
should do this again because this
Yes,
is fun. I like our energy together.
yes.
I think we should do this again. That's all God is telling me right now. We should do this again.
Absolutely. I think we can talk about a lot of different things. So basically it's really me introducing you, to Suppressed Wounds Redemption and Recovery. The purpose of this is for us to share these stories and share them openly. I started doing the podcasting. I want to say this was about 2 years ago, and I did it because it was like a hobby for me. One, and also I know that I want to talk about different topics and different issues, and sometimes it make people feel uncomfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
when I was trying to be like, "Hey, here's my information. I'd love to be on a podcast," like they were like dissing me. I'm like, "Okay, well that's fine."
Okay.
And Holy Spirit was like, just start something. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna do it the best that I know how. And I really appreciate you coming in and sharing your story with us, talking about healing. What was it? Healing after hiding. What was it?
Well, what you said was healing from what I'm hiding from.
Healing from what I'm hiding from. Yes. And I believe you gave some great examples. I don't know if anyone have any questions. I've seen some people tuning in. Oh, how can people reach you? But hold on 1 second, 1 second. So this is the event page, guys. This is the event page. Let's get educated. Fourth annual HIV awareness event. Love knows no status. You see the address here, 4224 West 13th Street. That's here in the Shy in Chicago. So if you need to book your tickets to get on the train, the plane, the bus, that's where it's going to be at. Um, are you doing, because you say you're going to reach out to some people for PrEP or HIV? Are they going to be doing HIV testing? I'm sorry if I
Yes.
missed that. Okay.
Yes, they're gonna be doing HIV testing, but I'm looking for somebody to talk about PrEP. If I can't find nobody, I might just do it myself. Um, but that's what I'm looking for. I need one more speaker to talk about PrEP.
To talk about PrEP. What's PrEP? Share that with the people. What is PrEP?
PrEP is what someone takes that is what you take so that you won't become HIV positive, basically, to sum it all up in a nutshell. So if you having unprotected sex and you don't know someone's status, if you take PrEP, PrEP will prevent you from becoming HIV positive. Or if you're sleeping with someone that is HIV positive and you take PrEP, PrEP will still prevent you from becoming HIV positive. But when I say do a I want them to do a presentation and talk further on it. That's what I could speak on it. But I want them to like really go into in depth about what PrEP is and not only talk about PrEP, but explain, not share where they can get prep from for free or whatever they have to do to get it. So that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully I'll find it in next week.
Yeah, I hope you do too. I believe I have a card because when I met up with you at that one event, I may have someone's card. And basically what I was sharing with him, I think let me kind of go back because I get excited and I started talking all over my words and stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
But like, blah, 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 like, girl, what the heck are you talking about? Like yuck mouth. But let me stop sharing this real quick. All right, and let me okay. All right. So I think that it's very important. Can you hear me? Did I go?
I hear you.
Okay. Okay. I think it's very important because talking about STDs, period, or STIs, now it's called STIs, sexually transmitted infections. It's very important that we do talk about that at the church. And I believe your fiance, Mr. Curtis, he had that Boys to Men event last month, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people there that was testing people, not just for HIV, but for other sexually transmitted infections or diseases. And I thought that was really cool and pretty dope to have that at the church. What are your thoughts around talking about the importance of getting tested and different things like that at the like with the church? Because I mean, I believe we both grew up in that type of community and that environment, and I don't really remember a lot of things being talked about sex other than just don't have sex until you're married. So, like, do you have any words to talk about that to some leaders that might be watching this and talk about?
I got a lot to talk about. They about to get ready to kick us off.
I won't kick you off, but they might
Oh,
jump off, but it's
so
okay. They need to hear it.
so I wasn't raised in church, right?
Okay.
Curtis was raised in church. All my events that I had so far all been at church. Each event had testers. Each event. That's gonna come along with whatever I do, testing. But far as the church is concerned, I feel like I feel like the church skipped that part. If when they see young, I'm speaking about myself first. I'm talking about myself first. When I popped up pregnant with my daughter, and I was in the washroom, and the lady at the church, she was, you just gonna keep letting him put babies in you, and you ain't gonna get married. That's all she said. Then when I had my next daughter, when y'all gonna get married? Keep on letting him put babies in you. She wasn't worried about the babies she wasn't worried about I was having unprotected sex. She was worried about us being married. They more concerned. Well, I don't know about all churches, but churches that I've been part of, they more concerned about you getting out of sexual sin, right? I don't want you sinning and bringing all them babies up in this church. Y'all better get married. They push that on the congregation, I feel like. But instead of pushing sexual education, because we got a lot of people that's sleeping with each other in the church. A bunch of people sleeping with each other in the church. And they're not using condoms. They're just not doing that. Who do that? They don't do that nowadays. They don't even know what a condom is. So I feel like we need to normalize testing everywhere, especially in the church. A lot of people go to church more than they go anywhere. Anywhere. They having all these events at the churches. They at church every Sunday. They at church every Tuesday. They at church every Wednesday. And everybody is sleeping with everybody in the church. I can't wait till this book come out. Can't wait till this book about all the people sleep around the church. But now I'm playing, but serious. The churches need to normalize testing. It's not just about getting out of sin, sexual sin. Okay, we need to get out of sexual sin too, but people still gonna have sex. And why not educate them about how to have a safe sex so that they won't be at the clinic? I just don't understand it. That's why I'm so glad that Curtis is really 100 for testing. The church that I have all my events at, 100 for testing. Anybody that I do anything with is always 100 for testing. I just don't understand it. We don't want to have these type of conversations, but we keep telling people to get married. I think it's unfair. It's unfair to the kids. It's unfair to the congregation. It's just really unfair.
I agree. I agree with you. And we know if we go back to scriptures that, our body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. We know that, it's better to marry than to burn with lust. But what if you marry this person that God didn't even ordain for you to be married to? And now you're in this relationship, you're in this marriage that you think that you're supposed to remain in because like, oh, I don't want to break this covenant or whatever. But it's like, how do you know that God had ordained for that person to be your mate in the first place? But that's another story. The other thing is when you're dealing with the church, you're dealing with different people who have different experiences. Like I was molested at a church, well, actually on a church bus by an older gentleman. I don't know if he was an older teenager or if he was a young man. I want to say I was probably about 11, maybe about 11, you know? So I didn't know about anything about getting tested or anything like that. What if he would have had sex with me being an 11-year-old girl? Not to mention like the different diseases that comes with that. So condoms aren't 100%, but it can help prevent certain things from happening, especially if you know how to you know how to use them and stuff like that. I remember having a conversation with these youth some years back when I used to do probation, and I was looking for one of my youth, and I overheard them talking, and they were talking to one of the young girls about having sex with her. And I asked them, I just was like, have y'all ever been tested for HIV or anything? And the one boy was like, man, I ain't got no AIDS. And I'm like, okay, but have you ever been tested? He was like, no, I don't need to get tested. I wear 4 or 5 condoms at a time. And I'm like, you don't even know how to wear a condom. And then you say you wearing 4 and 5 condoms, like, like, well,
That's
you can't
crazy.
even feel anything. But
Right.
just the ignorance. And that's why it's important for us to continue to talk and share and not just say, well, you're going to go to hell if you have sex. Like,
Yep.
let's really dig deep into that, because even dealing with individuals who may have been abused, sexually abused as a child, and now here it is, they're adults or they're teenagers, and they're hypersexual because of their trauma response, and they out here having sex like crazy. I thank God for my mother, because if it wasn't for her, I'd probably be dead, with some type of disease. But my mom, she never, because my mom never was like oblivious to what it was that I was doing. Did she approve of me going out having sex as a 14-year-old with these grown men? No. Did she even know at the beginning? No, she didn't know. But when she found out, she took me to, it's called the Save Clinic, and to get a sexual, I think it's like sexual abuse examination, something, victim examination. But then she started taking me to my regular appointments to see the GYN and different things like that. And I'm grateful for that. But not everybody have that, because isn't it true that sometimes that you can be HIV positive, or you can have different diseases and you may not know
You don't
about
even
that,
know.
right?
For years. Yep, for years.
Okay.
Because I believe the person that I got HIV from, he had got tested. He got tested and nothing ever came from it. I don't know if they told him, or I don't know if they just, actually, I honestly don't know what happened, but I know he got tested for sure. And then few years later, then he come up positive. Like how? If you got tested. So I don't know. I know they say it takes 10 years. It lay dormant for 10 years in some cases.
Absolutely, absolutely. Man, any advice for those who maybe they just found out that they were HIV positive? Do you have any words of encouragement to that person? Or even thinking back to when you found out that you were positive, what would you say to that person? Because it's been what, 20 years? What would you say 20 years ago to that person if you were to talk to them today?
Oh man. 3 years ago? I don't know. I only know what I can say today because 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I was not in my right state of mind to give no type of advice, no type of nothing. I was so numb. I was just doing. But today, I would have so much to say. So actually, I would actually say nothing first. I'll let them talk. I'll let them get out whatever that they need to talk about, whatever they want to say. And after that, I would tell them how important it is for them to get educated about HIV. That would be the first thing. And the reason why is because these doctors, not all of them, I done met a few good ones, but from talking to people, a lot of them not good with it. They just doctors. They don't have a heart, right? And they will tell you, okay, you take this pill and you become undetectable and you're gonna be good. I see you in 6 months. Or I see you in 3 months. And that's not enough, right? A lot of times people can take their medicine and then they have a mentally they're just not okay, right? So I would tell them to get educated as much as they can about HIV so they can know what they're doing and know how to take care of themselves. After that, I would tell them it's so important to find you a good support system outside of your family and friends. And the reason why is because your family and friends, they're gonna love you just because. But for some reason, when you meet people that don't got to love you and support you when they do, sometimes that's better. And I've experienced that for myself. Not taking away from people that I know that know me and been knowing me all my life and love me, you know. But for some reason, people that don't know me and they come around, and they just like me and we share the same thing, it is a difference. I was telling them to find them a good support system. Um, and the third thing, will learn how to live again. And the reason why is because you are not who you was 10 minutes ago. If you just got diagnosed 10 minutes, you are not who you were 10 minutes ago. You are not who you were before you came to the clinic. You have to learn how to live all over, how to live, how to think, how to act, how to be. You have to become a totally different you, but the same you. So those would be the three things that I would say.
I think that is beautiful. And you mentioned something about that undetectable. What does undetectable mean for those, like this, like the lamest terms? What does that mean?
That means that, oh man, the lamest terms. That means that you take your medication and it is not a lot of HIV in your bloodstream, right? So if you don't take, if you're not on meds, on no type of medication, it's going to be a lot of infection in your bloodstreams, right? But if you take your medication, you will not have a lot in your bloodstreams. Basically, that's the way I can explain to the least of terms. So, and the reason why it's so important, and the reason why they talk so highly of it, is because you cannot give somebody HIV if you are undetectable. So if you are on medication and you're taking your medication correctly on time every day, and you become called undetectable, right? You can't get somebody HIV. But if you are detectable and you don't know you're HIV positive, you don't know that you are detectable, and you constantly having sex with all these different people, you constantly giving people HIV, or you can possibly be giving it to them. So that's why it's good to know that you're HIV positive, because you could be preventing yourself from hurting other people. And not you. What is? And I always tell people this: if you don't know you HIV positive and you ain't in a relationship and you just like sleeping with multiple people, and people do what they want to do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If you choose to sleep with two people a week and that's what you do, that's your thing. But what if you possibly can be hurting other people just because you want to have sex, they want to have sex, right? It's wrong. It's so wrong. I just think we more people need to know their status, and not only know their status, they need to get the medication that they need to become undetectable. Not only but to become undetectable, but just to take care of yourself. Some people get tested positive for HIV and never go back to the doctor and never tell nobody. So many people is is not taking medication. Some people never go back to the doctor. Some people just do not care.
That's unfortunate. But the beautiful thing that you said was learn to live again. Learn to live again. And you've said this, and I've said this before myself, is that every day you wake up, well, we said it a little bit different, but every day you wake up, that's the first day of the rest of your life, which I think that's beautiful. We have an opportunity, we have a chance. And I think it's beautiful what you said a couple minutes ago. You said 10 minutes ago, we ain't the same person.
Mm-mm.
So I love that. And I love your shirt. Your opinion of me is none of my freaking business.
That's my saying, girl. That's my saying. I love today is the first day of the rest of your life. I say that so much, it don't even make no sense, girl. And I mean it too. Today is like today. Today is the first day of the rest of our life. Like this, what we doing right now, just having this conversation. This is going to help us to continue to heal. So this is the first day of the rest of our life with a new way of healing, a new way of thinking, a new way of sharing. You know?
Absolutely. It is. It really is. Like, do you have those shirts available?
Oh
Or
no, no,
okay.
I don't.
Shoot.
I got it at somebody's event.
Okay, okay, okay. Someone did leave a comment, and your boo, he put the link for Let's Get Educated. I want to say that's for the event. And then my sister, hey y'all, thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. My sister said, I think the church confuses sexual education with encouraging sexual immorality. And I
Yeah,
think
I can
that
see
that's
that.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah. Like we ain't gonna tell you nothing about it because you can be in a marriage and end up becoming positive
yeah.
and not really not knowing or anything like that. But not just HIV, there's other things you got like HPV, the human papilloma virus, and um that can just be skin on skin contact, like a dude be like, I'm gonna just put the head in, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Like, so
They say that. Yeah.
yeah,
But
or touch.
them kids need to know it. But see, this is why I be thinking like how far we want to go with the kids sometimes. Like get them in little group settings and have really serious conversations with them, because they really will say they want to put their head in for real. And little girl, we used to be little, we know. Yeah. But thinking he's about to put the head in anyway, it's crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think because of things that we've gone through as children, you know, of course with the parents' consent, and then you got your little people, you call them your little people, and I know you'll be down with it. It's just like, okay, got your consent, we're gonna talk about it because we need to talk about it. Because I was having a whole lot of sex as a child, and a lot of things was happening to me as a child, so it's very, very important that we talk about it. I know like years ago, I had wanted to become a sexologist, just so that I can provide counseling to married couples, especially for those who may have dealt with sexual trauma and different things like that. So I pretend like I'm a sexologist or something like that with creating all these workbooks so people can read it because it's so important. And you may
Yeah.
be thinking like, okay, well, I'm doing this. You may not even know how to have sex, or because of things that you went through, your body is rejecting your husband, and it's so many different things that goes under the umbrella of talking about sex education, and
I
not
agree.
being afraid of it, and talking with these kids. Because even when I was working with a lot of the a youth in this youth program that I was in, and a lot of the boys are trying to talk to me. They trying to get with me. And then they talked about the women that they would be with. Like these are 15, 16, 17-year-old boys saying that they have 30, 40-year-old girlfriends, you
Wow.
know, and like talking about what they do for them. And they're like, yeah,
Mm,
I like the older ones because they buy stuff for me. So it's like, no, it ain't just, people talk about R. Kelly and the young girls. It's these older women and these young
too.
boys
Yeah.
too. So, but yeah, we'll probably have to come back and we'll
Okay.
have a sex
My phone
talk or
about to go
something.
dead too. Yeah, we could
Okay.
do that. Yeah, we
Yes,
could do
yes.
that.
So how can people get in touch with you if they needed your information before your phone goes dead?
You can contact me through Facebook, Chatrivia Kennedy, or you can email email me at uniquepresent@yahoo.com.
Unique presents common spelling at yahoo.com. Y'all see her name, beautiful name there. Chatrivia, last name Kennedy. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much, Miss Kennedy, for joining us.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Yes, it was. I'll have you again. And I'm continuously looking forward to our connection here. So again, thank you guys for tuning in to Redemption and Recovery when suppressed wounds begin to heal. Just
Bye.
yeah, bye.